Hello everyone, welcome back to our graphic design course. Today is lesson 3. I continue in lesson 3 and I hope you are following the lessons in order. There was lesson 1, 2 and now is 3. This is where we ended in lesson 2. So lesson 3, we are going to talk about saving our work and the difference between the types of saves. So saving is very important. But since we work on mobile phone, if your battery light cannot easily go off or sudden disruptions like when you're using a desktop computer that you have to always save. But with a phone, you still have to save your work just in case you need to continue later or you're not through what we are doing. So let's say this lesson 2, let me just modify this lesson 2 and put 3 so that we can be following up together. I hope you already know what I have to do to modify this lesson 2 to be lesson 3 text. I just click on it. I choose edit from the top or I choose text and then I choose edit. Just change the 2 to 3. Just take OK. As simple as that. I'm now at 3 instead of 2. That's simply how you modify text when it is text that you have saved. Because if this was an image already, I'll have to reproduce this image because I cannot just modify a word that I don't have. When you join it, if I export this and it is now an image, I can no longer modify this text. But since it's still in the app as a project, I can modify. So I was saying we are going to look at how to save. To save is the second icon on the top. The second icon at the top is to save. You have the two options, save as project and save as image. Save as project, like I said, we will be now going over and over some things because we already passed through them in level 1, lesson 1 and 2. Lesson 1 we already explained this top portion. Lesson 2 we already explained the bottom. So as I'm using the bottom to edit, it's being done in level 2. So I'm using the top to save. We did that in level 1. So if you are not following them in order, just go back and follow in order, or if you are stuck somewhere, go back to a particular lesson that talks about it, about the portion you are stuck, and see how you can find your way. Or you can still ask. I will explain further. So to save this, I choose the save icon. Saving this as an image so I can share to someone. This is the one I choose. That is the option. I'll have to choose an image. If I choose an image, I'll have this thing as a picture. Remember, these are just shapes, text. Nothing yet in the form of a picture. This is just text that I've put. It's not a picture yet, but I can convert it to a picture by saving it as an image. Take save, choose image. When you choose image, you can share directly to social media. Let's say Facebook, Google, Twitter, WhatsApp, Instagram. All the options you have at the top here are those you can save. Then you have image format. Image format, you have both two types of formats. We have JPG and PNG. Generally, we like choosing PNG for things that you have to transfer them online. Things online, the quality generally reduce. For example, if I snap a picture and send to you through WhatsApp or through another social media, the quality you receive will be a little bit lesser than the quality I sent. Although there are some features for HD sending and so on, but generally sending things online, the quality reduces a bit. And to combat that, many people decide to use PNG. PNG, the full meaning is portable network graphics. So it moves through the network without really losing its quality, let's put it that way. But in the end, you see that both of these, they don't really matter unless you are working with a project that needs you to use some specific format. But if you are just hearing from my advice with my little knowledge about the qualities, you choose this PNG. With my little knowledge about it, you use this PNG. The one of JPG, they say no transparency. Well, it has its meaning, no transparency. PNG will be having things like if the background was if you draw an icon, for example the Facebook icon, if you draw it on the box that is a rectangle, you notice that the one that has PNG, the one that has PNG will be having a particular, it will follow just the shape of the icons. But if you have the one that has JPG will have no border. So for example, let me just go back and show you something, then we continue back from here. So right here now, we can see that all of this page is being covered by text and then colors. But let's take for example that we have all of these shapes, the heart, the PC drills, the lesson 3. We now have this blue background. If you export it with white background or transparent background, let's put it that way, transparent background, that there's nothing, so that our image should just show these 3 things without anything on the background. Without anything on the background means if I carry it and put on a black surface, I see the 3 icons, the background, everything surrounding will be black. If I carry it, put it on a white surface, it will just match with the white surface. Everything around it is white, but the text, just the particular portions are being covered. I don't know if you really get the point, but as we go further, you will notice the differences. So if I take save and I choose save as image, and I choose no transparency and I save it, and also the dimensions, can save it to be default, custom, low, medium, high. As you descend, the quality is greater and the more space it will take while saving your phone. So if you save default, it's just normal, it's custom, low. But when you go down to high, very high, ultra, the quality becomes higher, and one image will also have a greater size. So if you take the same image, you save maybe as default, you take maybe just 30 kilobytes. You take the same image, you save it as custom, maybe it becomes 35 kilobytes. Maybe you are now at the high, maybe the add picture, the same picture you saved that gave you 30 at default, maybe now gives you but maybe 1 megabyte, provided you know the meaning of those megabyte, gigabyte, kilobyte, because those are using units of measurements of space in a computer memory system. We start from, it's just like meters, kilometers, and so on. But that's not the focus. I'm just trying to tell you that if the quality is not as good as you wish, use a higher value. So if I come and export with just default and the quality is not good enough, I move down, custom. I can choose a height, I choose a width. This height and width means that maybe your drawing was supposed to be like here. You can see the height and width are the same. Meanwhile, maybe you wanted height to be longer and width to be shorter or something like that. This way you modify. There's still low, should be compressed, lower quality. You have medium, you have high, and so on. And then after choosing the corresponding one, you just have to take save to gallery, or if you are sharing to social media, you just take share. A social media account will pop up. You choose the one you want to send, choose the person, or choose the particular location you are sending to, and you send. So for example, if I'm saving this particular image, so let's do it now like practically. I'm saving this particular design, I'm through with this design, I'm okay with it. I need to store it in my phone so I can share to someone. I take save. save as image. It's already a design. I'm okay. I already want to share, so it's already complete. I take save. I'll choose ultra. I always choose ultra for it to be the best quality. But it's just that with ultra, it takes more space. So those are things you need to keep in mind. You might draw a design here that will need more space than another design. Just keep that in mind. But ultra gives you the best quality. Then I just take save, and that was all. You can see it shows image saved after loading. If I wanted to modify the length and width, so for example, let's keep that one aside for now. Let me show you another option. I've already saved the image, the picture as an image. If I wanted to save it as a project, so for now I've not saved this project. If I want to save this as a project, I come to save and I take save as a project. That image I cannot easily modify as I'm modifying now, but if I save a project, I can come back. If I send it to the person that needs it, the person tell me you do not want lesson 3 to be on a flyer, you wanted lesson 5. You don't want lesson 3 to be white, you want it to be green. You don't want the heart to be this color, it should be, but the other color, it should be this color. With a project, you just need to open a project and modify. Very easy. To save a project, you must give a name to that project. Let's just say lesson 3 is the name of the project. And I take okay. That's all. If I close this particular application now, if I close it, I open Pixel Lab afresh. Anything they're asking here, let me just take cancel because of the way I closed it. Normally, to close it without you stopping it as I've done, you click these 3 dots like I showed before, you take exit. This is a normal way to close. Are you sure you want to exit? Take OK. When you exit through this normal means, if you take to open Pixel Lab again, they will not tell you that there's any autosave somewhere. But since I already saved my project, to open that project, I just have to click on the 3 dots and I take open PLP file. This third to the last option here, open PLP file. I'll see all the files I've ever been saving with this particular application, all the projects that I've saved. If I click here and I choose it, if I choose the particular file, I click something else. Let me choose it again. Open.plp file and I click on lesson 3. Sorry, I'm clicking on something else. Click on lesson 3. So after choosing the lesson 3, this is where it takes me back to the very lesson. I can edit the text, I can even change the shape, do everything I was doing before. So let's say I wanted to maybe insert the other picture that I've already exported. The picture is already in my gallery. You can check yours and see that it's also in your gallery. So far as it has shown, the image has been saved successfully. So let me just say I want to start a brand new project. I click on default. To start something new, I just take default. To ask if I want to, everything will be lost, the modifications I've done. I saved it before. Anything I've changed here was just demonstration. I just take OK for it to lose everything. But if I want to open it back, I can always go and open it back from the 3 dots, open PLP file, also open that one. If I wanted to create something else, for example, if I wanted to create something else, for example, let's say we wanted to use another style to create it. Let's say I add text. Let's just say the text. To add text, you already know where to add the text. Click it. Let's put the text. Always like to use PC drills. You can use whatever you wish. It's a matter of choice. You can increase the size if you want, reduce the size using this arrow. You can see the difference. Dragging this one is different from dragging this one that increases the size. This is what I've created. Maybe I want to modify the text. Let's say let's put it to be a particular style. Let's put it to be bold. Remember what I said about the default. This one is a default. Does not accept bold because of the style that it comes with. So let me just delete it and create mine so that I can be free to modify how I wish. I delete it. And to delete, they always ask you to confirm. When you delete, you take OK. Let me create my own text. I give the text value. Take edit. Give it what I need. Take OK. Can zoom it if I want, and then I can go and modify the style. Let's say put it to be bold. Take OK. Let's say I want to add another text. I'm still with the text design here selected. Let's call this capital A as text design. I'm still within the text options, so I can, since the PC trace is selected, I can copy it. Copy means to duplicate. So if I click on copy, it creates for me another PC trace. So if you are creating something and you are creating the next that resembles the previous, you can just use copy and then you modify the second one that has been created. I'll take edit. Let me just say welcomes you. Welcomes you. Take OK. Since it's too large, let me reduce. You can hold here on the left, this one that has on the angle, the dot at the angle, to reduce the size, as well as you can reduce the font size by looking at these options at the bottom here that corresponds to text. You have size. You can click on size. You can use the arrow to reduce, or you can use, if you are reducing to a particular value, you can use a minus at the left or the plus at the top to increase the size also. So maybe I want it to be maybe exactly 50. I reduce to maybe around 50, but since I'm dragging the bar, it'll be hard for me to drop at exactly 50. So while I'm beside the 50, I can use now the values to put it at a particular, I can use a plus and minus and drag it here for it to be more and more uniform. And I can put it at the center. Remember, with position here, there are two. There's position, this one, and then there's also relative position. This relative position is to centralize in a particular order. So the first one to the left, next one to the right, bottom, top, middle, and then middle also, depending, horizontal and vertical, it depends. So if you want something to be perfectly centralized, you can put it in the middle and then push it down. Depends on you how you want to do it, because dragging with your hand might not be visible, and you can also use the grids like we did before. So that's one more thing. And with the grids, you can easily add the number of grids, so that in the end you'll be able to, if you are working with more text, because sometimes you might be working with text that's much, not just one thing that you easily see with this grid, can use this settings icon that has a stars at the bottom. You use it for the grid, you use a stars, and then you can add or reduce the number of grid lines, or you can even move the grid lines as you wish. For example, if I can move the grid lines after having this particular bar at the bottom that's blue, you can move the bars as you wish. You can manage to arrange the spacing and see if everything is in order as you wish. Depends on you, but you can also increase or reduce the number of grids. You can click this one that has the circle. You put number of horizontal grids, let's just say 10. Number of vertical grids, let's just say 10. Take OK. You can see that everything now, there are much more grids. So some words can come at a particular grid, some at a particular grid, depends on you. You can also adjust. So far as I see the white dots surrounding, you can drag the bars as you wish for the grid. And once you are through using the grid, all you have to do is switch it off by clicking again on the grid icon. As simple as that. Let's say we are through with this. Let's put our background. Let's change our background. Let's say we want our background to be transparent. If I put this background to be transparent, you can see this. Let me just put this in blue because here is not really visible. Remember, I've selected background, so I want to put the text to be in blue. I have to go back and choose text so that I can change the color of text. If I choose background and change it to be blue, you go and change the color of the background. So I want to deal with text. I select the text and I choose the text icon. I choose color. Let's just say the color is supposed to be, this particular kind of blue. Then welcomes you. Let me choose another kind of blue around the same place. Let's choose this one. With the eye, they might look the same, but when you look closely, you see that there's a difference between PC drills up and welcomes you. And see that the welcomes you looks too small. Let me just add it a little, just like that. The reason why I'm doing this one is to show you how to save, and not just to save, the difference between that part where we had no transparency and the other one that was just PNG. So as you have this PC drills welcomes you, this checkered kind of background means there's no background here, so just these words are visible. So if I export this and I come here, and remember too, with default background, if there's no background, it means it's white. Most computers will choose to be white, some will choose it to be black, it depends. But here, as there's no background, if I export it without a background, it will match with any side where it's being placed. So if I put it on a text or on my phone, if my gallery is showing but dark color, I put it there, it will just show that it's on a dark surface. If it's white color, you just show that it's on a white surface because there's actually no background. The one of the phone will reflect, will look like that's how the image looks like. So for example, if I save this one without a background and save it with a background, although I've not put any background, to save as an image, I just come to save icon, I take as image. Let's first save it as PNG. After I also save it as no transparency JPG. If I save it as PNG and I take ultra, I like taking ultra for the best quality. I take save. That's saved. Let me also go and save it. Save image. Let me also save it as JPG. As I've choose it, I also choose this, the quality. I take ultra. I take save to gallery. If I go to my gallery, I like using files. Files, images. For example, these are the two that I've saved. You can see here, the background on my phone is actually black. It's in black, right? For those who can see, some will see white, but actually it's black because my phone is in dark mode. But this other image, you can notice a little difference between these two images. To notice a difference, well, let me see if there's anywhere that I can have a white background so that you can see. Let me just say this Telegram. You can see that the background is kind of having some drawings. Let me choose those images. You can see now that there's white on this one on the right, no white on this one on the left, but both of them they did not have background in the beginning. But I first of all save the one with PNG first, and after I save the one with background later on. So that's why this one, if I send this one, the first one that I first saved, this is it. It goes with a black background. If I choose the second one I secondly saved, it goes to with a black background, but it's because there's a default. But if you look here before sending, there is a difference between the colors. One here does not have a background, one has a background, although I did not put a background. It might be hard to explain or hard to understand, but as you go further, you will understand better. Let's go back to our design. The reason why I'm trying to make sure I explain this saving with background, saving without background, JPG, PNG. The reason why I'm making sure you really understand this is actually because, let's say I designed a logo, or you have designed a logo, and you want to use that logo on a particular file. In order to design, let's say the logo is in a rectangle, in a circular form, because most logos are circular. Let's say the logo is in a circular form, but you are designing on inside a rectangle or a square like this one. In the end, after saving a logo, let's say you want to take that logo and use it again on another drawing. For example, logos, you always see them that they take and put at the top left or top right of a drawing or of a graphic design. To use that kind of logo, you don't need to use it with a background. Let's say you are dealing with a flyer that the portion for that logo is red, and then the logo has a background that was black or the background was white. That is where the issue comes in. So for example, if I take art, from gallery because I have some things in gallery. Let me add those two images that I saved. Let's say I add this one. When you want to add, that's it generally shows. You can crop before adding, depends on you. Depends on what you are adding or how you want to add it. You hold on the angles to maintain the size, or you hold at the corners to shrink it or crop it. Let's call it that way. This one. If I add another one from gallery again, let me add the other one. You can see that this one, whether you are noticing, if you have been following up, you can see that this one does not have a background, but the other one is coming with black and something behind. Whether you are seeing well or not, but I'm trying to pass a point here. You see, this one that I've imported is having a black background. I did not put this black. This is what we exported before. This is what we saved as an image without a background. See that this one does not have a background, but this one has a black background behind it. So that was what I was saying. No transparency. No transparency. This is the man. This our guy here without any transparency. So he saved it instead of a transparent thing that was supposed to be here as no color. He went and helped us to put black there. He does not want anything to be transparent. If you have followed it well, I believe now you are seeing the difference. But this one here, our PNG, you can see that there's no background there. It's just as we did it and saved it. And this one, very good for logos. PNG, no, very good for logos. If I want to use this one as a logo, I'll have to find a way to remove this black background from it. Meanwhile, if I'm using this one that I already saved, no problem. I just use this without having to modify to remove anything, because this is exactly what I wrote. But this one has a background. Both of them have the advantages and disadvantages. But I just want you to know that if you save it in a particular style with PNG, this is what you have. With JPG, this is what you have. I believe that's understood. You have seen how to save, how to add text, modify text, add shapes, modify shapes, colors, and so on. Save, open a project that you have saved, and so on. I believe lesson 3 is over. Any questions, you tell me. Write these two as your, let's put it as assignment or something. If you see something looking exactly like this, to show that you followed up. Thank you. See you next time. I hope it was clear. Any questions you ask, I will do my best to explain. It might be hard to understand the first time, but as you do it from time to time, you will start to get used to. It's not in one day that we learn everything. We are just teaching everything now fast because we already know. But when we are also learning, it is not inside one day, 1 hour, or one at a time that we just grasp everything. If you have any issues, you can watch and rewatch, or you can ask. There's no harm in trying. You try. If it does not go, you can delete and save or start back. It's something you do with your phone. You don't need paper, you don't need pen, you don't need any extra material to do it. So just try it and see how it goes so that you can know how to solve it and you learn better with corrections. See you later.